When I think about the purpose of Andwell Health Partners, it's really all about impact and the ability for our clinicians and our organization to have an impact in the community with regard to access to quality healthcare services, whether that be home health, hospice, pediatrics, essentially home and community-based services.
When I started here about 10 years ago, we had a census of about 80 children that we were serving. To date, our highest census has reached 625. The needs for our medically fragile children are really increasing year after year.
The biggest goal right now is to find service providers so that we can get services to these children who are now currently waiting on wait lists. These years are so important for them. You know, when they're 3 and they're 4 and they're 5, I mean, those are the years where we really need to be getting in there and really working with them and their families most importantly.
Pediatric palliative care and hospice is a very complex type of care delivered by an interdisciplinary team usually, so doc, nurse, social worker, sometimes other therapists as well. We do get a population of kids that do graduate from palliative care. Kids like Sebastian, often we can make sure that they are not needing palliative care anymore.
Sebastian is 5 years old. He just graduated pre-K, so he is now headed into kindergarten this year, which he's super stoked about. He loves to play. We like to do a lot of outdoorsy stuff like kayaking. We go for hikes. We like to look for cool rocks. He is obsessed with Mario and Sonic right now. He loves to color and paint and do puzzles. He's very high energy and likes to be involved in everything and learn about everything as we do it. Sebastian has an older brother named Skylar. He is 9 years old. They have a love-hate relationship. They're at each other's necks 1 second and then best friends after. If they're not roughhousing or doing parkour all over the furniture or destroying something, they are sweet little boys watching TV. I had Sebastian early and with great complications, which was super scary. I didn't even get to see Sebastian after I had him. They just took him away because I had him at Stevens Memorial. They took him straight away and brought him to Main Med, Barbara Bush. And I had to stay back a couple of days before they shipped me out because I guess there was something wrong. I didn't know what was going on. His lungs didn't fully develop. He was only 30 weeks. His esophagus ended, so there was no way for him to feed. The rest of his esophagus that was supposed to connect was connected into his windpipe. So he had whatever contents were in his stomach going into his lungs. So they had to do a corrective surgery for that. They went in to do his trach surgery to open up the airway, otherwise his airway would keep collapsing. And I had to go back to work the day that they did surgery, so I was working at the bank. And I got the worst phone call in my life at work. They went to do the trach surgery, and his lungs collapsed. And his heart stopped. And they had to do CPR on him for 19 minutes. And cut open his chest on each side to reinflate his lungs with some chest tubes. And they said it was a miracle that he didn't have any brain damage for being gone for 19 minutes. The next day, I went to go see him. I didn't even recognize my own kid. When I went to the hospital, his whole body was just bruised and swollen. His whole body looked like a completely different kid from the CPR. in chest tubes. But he's strong. Sebastian spent about 5 or 6 months at Barbara Bush. He came home just before Easter, I believe. And then a couple months later, we had Andwell come in to help Sebastian meet his milestones. Him being on the ventilator limited his mobility.
With Sebastian, I started when he was probably about 9 or 10 months old. He already had services in place, and I had taken over. He was getting speech therapy and physical therapy as well as some nursing at the time. And he just, from Sebastian being a baby, he was very, I don't know what the right word is for that, but he was very quiet. He didn't tolerate a lot for us at first. There was a lot of medical stuff going on. And then Sebastian kind of just came around at one point, and he became just this little spitfire who was more than happy to do whatever we asked him to do sometimes. And he really just, again, looked at us as kind of like that 1 hour where in some ways he was a typical kid and we were his friends coming to play with him.
Sebastian graduated from Andwell Services, and he's doing really great in school too. And I feel like without those services in place, Sebastian would be a little more behind than he is, and I feel like they've helped meet his milestones in a timely manner. He's actually exceeded some of those milestones before expected milestones, so he's super smart.
As an organization delivering healthcare for nearly 60 years, one of the benefits that we derive from that is a reputation and a trust in the community. It is a tremendous privilege to be able to walk over the threshold of somebody's home, to be trusted to enter somebody's home, or to have somebody join us in our space in the community to deliver the healthcare services that we need to deliver.
I feel like for a lot of these families, we have a huge impact because we're more than just their therapist. For a lot of parents, we are, hearing all of their stressors every week. They really let us into their lives and tell us, the day-to-day stuff that they're dealing with.
One thing is, though, they said with the trach, he wouldn't be able to talk at all. But he defied the odds, and he did it. He figured it out.
Hi, my name is Sebastian, and I'm 5 years old. My favorite color is blue. This is where my trach used to be. Hey, this is where my trach used to be. This is D2. For summer, I like to go to the trampoline park, cuddle with my mom, and have a movie night. Watch movies and cuddle with you.
Aw, I love you.
I love you too.
He found a way to communicate, even though we were told he wasn't going to be able to talk at all. And he's been talking since. Doesn't stop talking.